I loved this record so much in high school, and I was just stoked that a band that sounded like this was kind of popular. What up, Malamars? Welcome to another episode of Guarsenio's High School CD Booklet Review, the show where we go through all the albums I bought in high school and find out how much Christian music I accidentally listened to. Today's album is that special type of Christian music you can only find in the southern backwoods, but also the Ernie Ball stage at Warped Tour. We're talking Maylene and the Sons of Disaster. Man, all day I've been, for once, Googling and texting friends, trying to figure out where this weird wave of southern rock inspired hardcore started. For me, I think the first time I noticed it was Every Time I Die's Gutter Phenomenon, but that couldn't have been the first one, could it? The best I could come up with is that I guess a lot of 2004 bands loved the Jackass the Movie soundtrack, and then also Clutch, and it all just kind of fused together. I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments. What the fuck? As a child, I was a huge classic rock fan. I loved AC/DC and the Stones, and specifically southern rock bands like ZZ Top, the Allman Brothers, Molly Hatchet. But when I was in middle school, it wasn't cool to listen to that shit, so I stopped. So yeah, I was stoked when Open 3, pull-off riffs, and cowbell started showing up in hardcore music. Little by little, I noticed that a lot of music that I loved in my heart was starting to show influence in a lot of current bands. It made me feel vindicated to know that the generation of artists ahead of me also appreciated the stepdad music that I was into. But at the time, for the most part, southern rock influence only reared its head for a joke part or a main riff from Smoke on the Water inspired ass breakdown, until Maylene and the Sons of Disaster showed up and were like, nah, that's our whole thing, man. This is the second band we're gonna talk about on this show that I found because they were somebody's MySpace page song. I don't remember which friend it was, I just remember going to their page and hearing Caution, Dangerous Curves, and thinking, finally. I loved this record so much in high school, and I was just stoked that a band that sounded like this was kind of popular. Aside from the rock and roll riffs, I think a big thing that made me love this album is it was a good cop, bad cop screamo album where all the screaming sounded mean and painful, and all the dude singers were singing with their real voices. When I first heard Tough as John Jacobs, I was like, oh my god, I haven't heard a baritone voice in 6 years? But yeah, I listened to this album all the time. I even remember using a bunch of the hooks and the riffs in a movie I made in a high school film class. I wish we could put a clip of it in the corner, but I think all traces of that thing died with Windows Media Player. Needless to say, it did bum me out a little bit when I found out they were a Christian band. A friend told me that their scream guy used to be the scream guy in Under Oath, and I was like, man. I was able to keep enjoying this album though because it wasn't the same as every other Christian hardcore band out there. I did a big rant about my thoughts on Christian hardcore in our Define the Great Line episode, so if you want to hear the big thesis on it, go check out that episode. But my main problem with all the Jesus Warped Tour bands is it felt like they were trying to Trojan horse all of their ideas underneath a hardcore wrapping paper. It felt weird and it was creepy. But on this album, they're not trying to fool anybody. This album is Christian in the way that a weird old man at the beginning of a horror movie is Christian. Just a dude going well, y'all kids better turn back right now. You don't want to go over there. Devil gonna get you. So yeah, with me viewing it as what if that guy had a band, I was still able to listen to it and have a really good time. I think if I heard this for the first time right now, I wouldn't be into it. But I don't know, man, the nostalgia kicked in and the choruses on songs 3 and 4 are bops. This was the first time I re-listened to an album for this show and I repeated songs because I had a good time. I remember not really being into the other Maylene and the Sons of Disaster releases, and listening to this today, I think I figured out why. The songs on this album are structured like hardcore songs from this era, kind of like Poison the Well songs where there are choruses but no repeating verses or a bridge. They figured out what the hook was gonna be and then just jammed out a bunch of different rock and roll breakdowns without a click, and we're like, hot dog, sounds cool, dude. Dang on, man, that sounds great. And the other albums just sound a little bit too close to actual southern rock albums. It just felt like I was listening to a Skynyrd song with a halftime part. Wow, I'm not here for that. Let's talk about the album art. This is what 5 Bruce Springsteens look like as they're being abandoned by their father at a New Jersey steel mill. It kind of looks like our Bandcamp releases. I guess everyone's just been using the same distressed record texture that comes up 3rd or 4th on Google Images since 2003. I don't know. I don't really have a lot of bits about it. It's kind of the most accurate example of what you're seeing versus what you're being sold since the Korn album. Peak Southern rock revival bullshit. From the photography to the colors, to the fake price sticker on the front. You can't judge a book by its cover, but you can absolutely judge an album. But yeah, to sum up, I'm probably not gonna revisit this anytime soon, but I get why I liked it at 15. And I don't know, there's probably a through line from me finding this album to me discovering my current favorite band, which is Kveler Talk. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. If you want to let me know what you thought of the album or tell me who exactly brought all this southern bullshit to hardcore, there's the comment section. Next time, we're talking the self-titled Foo Fighters album, which is actually the first album I bought in a store.
It's 2 minutes to late.